Hi, I'm Arnie Gundersen from Fairewinds, and today is Wednesday, April 13th. I'd like to talk to you today about three things that have come up in the last couple of days. The first is that Tokyo Electric has raised the accident severity level to a 7. The second is some similarities that I'm seeing between how this accident is progressing and 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl in regards to controlling the information. And the third is I received a lot of emails about what should I do here in the States and what should I do in different countries about potentially changing lifestyle habits or leaving. So I'd like to talk about those today. But the first one is yesterday, TEPCO changed the rating of this accident from a 5 to a 7. And what that means is they had been saying it was like 3 Mile Island, and now they're saying it's as severe as Chernobyl. Well, I felt that way for almost the last month, and frankly, it should come as no surprise to anyone that this accident is as bad. There's 7 nuclear reactors and fuel pools that are not being cooled here, and there's been 3 meltdowns and an explosion in a fuel pool. So the net effect is that this is certainly a catastrophe on the level of Chernobyl, and has been for the last couple of weeks rather. You know, it's interesting because before this accident occurred, the worst that anybody ever thought would be 1 nuclear reactor, not with a meltdown, but with 1% nuclear fuel failed, containment retained its integrity, and this is 3 nuclear reactors, a fuel pool, etc. This is about 1,000 times worse than ever anticipated by the nuclear planners. The second thing is that I've noticed some disturbing similarities between the information that's coming out of Fukushima and what came out of Chernobyl and what came out of TMI. You may remember I was an expert in that trial in the 90s. And it seems as if the government and also the people that own the reactors begin to try to control the information and limit a couple of things. They try to limit the amount of radiation released, and they try to limit the effect of that radiation on people. And then the other thing is they try to delay evacuations until they're too late. I saw that at 3 Mile Island, and I saw that at Chernobyl, and I see it beginning to occur here too. Now, back on the 30th anniversary of 3 Mile Island, I was invited to Harrisburg, to the Capitol, and I gave a speech, and it's up here on the website right next to the video here. It was about what I call the 3 myths of 3 Mile Island. And if trends continue, we could call it the 3 myths of Fukushima as well. I'm hoping that in an internet era that more information will be available to more independent scientists, and that governments and utilities don't try to monopolize that data. It's about a half-an-hour video, and at the beginning of it, you'll hear music in the background. While I was giving the speech, there was a marching band in a rotunda next to the room. So I ask you to, if you watch the video, to bear with me for the first 10 minutes for the music in the background. Right after my speech, Dr. Steve Wing gave a speech about the actual health effects of 3 Mile Island. And because the radiation releases have been downplayed by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and by the 3 Mile Island itself, we've been led to believe there were no injuries. Dr. Wing's data clearly shows that that's wrong. And I'm concerned that we're beginning to see the industry circle the wagons and make that presentation. I heard it on NPR today, for example. So please be aware that the trend of trying to consolidate information is not new, but I think in the internet era we stand a chance to break that. The The last thing today is that I've had many emails from people saying, what should I do? Should I move? Should I change the way I eat? A lot of the U.S. government sites are down right now. And I'm not going to attribute motive to that, but I will let you know that I'm concerned that we're not getting the radiation data that we should be getting from the U.S. government sites. There's a lot of independent scientists out there that are gathering data, and I think that probably by next week I'll be in a position to better estimate what that is. I guess if you're concerned, washing leafy vegetables can't hurt, and watching milk consumption can't hurt. But short of that, I really don't have any data to share with you this week. I think maybe next week we will. Now, finally, two things. I promised a more thorough review of the ARIVA report. With events like this upgrade to a 7, I haven't gotten around to that yet. I will. And last but certainly not least, on Friday, I've been invited to a 2-hour television show with Deepak Chopra and several other nuclear experts. It's going to be accessible via the net, and there's a link on this page to link you to it. It'll be at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday. That probably will be the video for Friday from my standpoint. And I hope you can click that link and watch it. Finally, Fairewinds actually has a day job, and making these presentations is not it. I hope that you can look toward that donate button on our page and help support this. We're not drawing any salaries for making these presentations. However, keeping up the web and the web presence is costly, and I hope you choose to do it. I will get back to you in a couple of days, but let me leave you with one last thought, and that's everybody knows the moment that 3 Mile Island and the moment that Chernobyl happened, but who knows when they end? Thank you.